The one that's early.
Got the fat head behind you?
Yeah, that's my normal size.
Before we get started, I got to make a special shout out to the person who I believe came the longest in distance to come watch us. One of my college buddies, Mike Faber, is here from Colorado.
Wow.
How about that? Huge Bills fan.
We love
Brought
it.
his family with him. Grew up in Rochester, so he's back home. He did the whole, wings, beef foam whack, all that stuff, and he wants to talk Bills. So he's here with us tonight. So it was great to see Mike and other people here. Anybody else from a distance to travel tonight? It's a little bit of a distance for us to travel tonight, but it's great to be down here. Isn't this place awesome? I love being down here. This is a lot of fun. Shortest trip? Who's got the shortest trip? Right there. There's the shortest trip right here.
Jenna's breaking stuff.
Jenna's making a mess already. Here we go.
That's fair. That's okay.
We're fine.
We're fine. The mic is broken.
This is why we can't have nice things, Jenna.
That's it. What time is it here?
Actually, though.
Come on, princess.
All right. These chairs are nice.
Yeah, this one I should mention to Jenna. It's 2 minutes up.
That's okay.
So, who's been to a live podcast before? There we go. That's great. We'll be doing more. Lake Beverage has been awesome to us, and the people at Bud Light, so we're excited about doing this. We'll do
Yeah, we're excited.
4 more
this
after
place
this.
is awesome.
I know. I
wanna
just
come
said
back.
that.
And
When
if
you were
anybody
busy
that we didn't
spilling
get a
something.
chance to talk to, if you will hang around after, we will have a Bud Light. Is
Yes.
what we've been waiting for.
That is
so
the
if we didn't
plan.
get a
I
chance
know.
to take a
Bud Light
picture
was
or say
winking at
hi,
me before.
or a lot of people have asked us to deface their hats
Yes,
Yes.
with a
and
signature.
mugs and nice things that people have brought. We've had to put our scribble on things.
Yeah.
So we'll do it after.
Yeah, we would love to do that. It's so weird, though, signing an autograph.
2 minutes away. 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
That's like a speaker.
By
from
the way,
God.
another shout out.
Yeah.
Brian Swerda. Give him a big round of applause to the
Brian.
guy in the back. He's the guy that sets up everything, set up our podcast studio, the Connors and Ferris podcast studio, which we love.
Yes.
And John Polchowski right here in the
Yes.
front from Channel 13.
Yeah.
We know we're in good hands with these guys.
Truly.
So
They make us look good, which is hard. Do you need this?
I look so
Yeah.
young in that picture. That fat
I was
head.
thinking that. My face
I
is
look
also
like
a
a
perfect
toddler.
circle.
That was
yeah, so do I, Dan.
that was 3 kids ago when I had life in my eyes.
Oh, stop. That is too much.
Yeah.
Young Dan, you don't know what's
my
coming.
God. Jenna, I think we may need to reference what's behind us when we start, because
You
people are
do?
going to be,
Be like, what is happening?
yeah,
That's fair. I have the same question.
yes.
1 minute. I'm going to kill your mics.
1
Okay,
minute.
thank you.
All right.
And thank you, everyone, for being here. It really
Yep.
does mean a lot. We have a lot of fun with these, so
Yep.
we appreciate it.
This is the Buffalo Plus Podcast.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome from Lincoln Hill Farms. We are having so much fun here tonight, an incredible turnout, and you might notice behind me the fat heads for the
Oh,
full
my God.
experience. Give it up for the fat heads, Dan.
Look at the fat heads.
I was
Look at that.
saying,
It's just
Wow.
called Dan's head.
Yeah.
I'm glad they used my high school graduation picture there, and Dan's is life size, so that's
Yes.
good.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is-
this A.
That was just a regular picture they took of me.
Yeah, that's
They didn't
perfect.
enlarge mine at all.
It's perfect for Dan's ego. We want to give a shout out to, of course, Bud Light for sponsoring tonight. Lake Beverage as well. They have been amazing with us. We've had so much fun doing this partnership, and we are so, so excited for tonight.
These are awesome. This is the Buffalo Plus tour that we are continuing to go on. This is the second stop, and the fans and everybody that has come out, the meet and greet that we've done beforehand, again, it means a lot. I will speak for both of them. Every single time we have done these shows, we are terrified that nobody is going to show up.
That's
And
a
we
fact.
sit there and we go, what would we do if there's 3 people here? And we're like, we'll do the show.
So it would just be different.
It would just be a lot different. So this
Yeah.
is very cool. It never ceases to amaze me that people watch us consistently
Yes.
Yeah.
and show up to watch it.
Yeah, I said to somebody, it makes me feel a little bit like I'm in a band.
Yeah.
And I was an atrocious guitar player. So this is as close as I'll ever get to that. So it's fun. And with these guys from Bud Light taking us to different places, this place is fantastic.
Wild.
You can go take care of some zombies later
We're
that
gonna
are
shoot
going
zombies
on.
later.
Hey,
Great
Ride.
to eat and drink and everything. So have fun. And let's talk a little Bills football.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Lincoln
get to
Hill.
talk-
Shout out Lincoln Hill Farms.
Absolutely. We're
Are
going
you
to talk.
breaking stuff?
I don't know.
That's okay. We're moving
good.
forward. All right, we're going to talk tonight about the upcoming game against the Saints, the 3-0 start to the season, what we make of the cornerback position, some updates. Water is important, too.
That's it. Got to
Okay.
hydrate.
Look at that.
Okay, I was hoping they weren't going to stand behind us the entire show.
I'm still hanging.
There was
Look
a
at
split
that.
second where I was like, how
Dynamite,
long are the
fat
fatheads going to
head.
stay
I
behind
know.
me?
Okay, we have a lot to get to
Okay.
tonight, but before we do, let me formally introduce us. So,
Yep.
Mike Catalana, Dan Fates, I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to
Like,
comment,
comment,
and
subscribe.
subscribe. Of course, share as well. All right, so first of all, great crowd tonight. People are feeling good. Mike, the Bills are 3-0. What is this team's mindset right now?
You know, they've won 3 different ways, right? They made a miraculous comeback against Baltimore, a very good team, even though they're struggling a little bit now. They took care of the Jets in an easy one that was over by like 2 o'clock. And then now in the third game with Miami, a team, you know,
0 chance.
Dan said 0 chance. Dan was
Never a
right,
doubt.
we have to say. Eventually
No.
he was right.
Dan
Dan
was right.
barely
I
right.
was right.
Dan
Well,
all
was
that matters.
sweating it out.
I guess he was correct that the Bills won. The 0 chance part was a lot.
I'm focused on the destination, not the journey.
Wow. You
Did I
got
get
that one
I
right.
got it right. I had to reverse it. See what I
Yes.
did there?
But I would say this team is, first of all, let's start with this. In the NFL, it's about winning, right? They're 3-0. So that's the biggest thing. And you want style points, I guess. We'd all feel better if you're watching the game and you're like, why did they put me through this? Because 2 of these games, you know, you went, the night games too, you went
Yes.
right to the end. But the reality is, and these guys have heard me say, well, they've heard me say a lot of things
so much.
that I keep repeating. But they're all hindsight wins. It doesn't matter. If they would have blown out the Ravens, that would have been awesome. It's still the win against the Ravens. And 17 weeks later, it's not going to matter how many points you won the game by. They found a way to win all 3. I think their best football is still ahead of them. I think they're in a great spot right now to take advantage of this start.
Yeah, especially when we talk about defensively. They are a work in progress. And people here, when we were talking about it, well, you're going to get Michael Hoyt. You're going to hopefully get Maxwell Hairston back at some point. You're going to get Larry Ogunjobi. For whatever he is, he's another body at a defensive tackle position that they have been injured. They have lost players at. So there is hope, especially with right now. They're not playing their best football. I think they've said that. Taron Johnson said that this week. But to know they're 3-0, like Mike said, is all that matters. And moving forward, Sean will always talk about it. And he'll do it at the press conferences, and he'll do it with his hand. And he'll go, you know, as a team, you know, you want to be like this throughout the trajectory of the season. And that's what I think the Bills are. I think they're very raw defensively, and they'll get better.
I do think, too, and this is something that I think sometimes we forget about because the Bills are excellent at home. They are 13-game win streak. I mean, if you've been to Highmark Stadium, you know just how loud it can be when the opposing offense is on the field. But it brings up the point, Dan, and you asked Taron Johnson about this, because it's so loud for the opposing offense, that means it's so loud for the Bills' defense.
Dan was right.
Oh, you can't. No.
I brought it up the night before the Dolphins game. I said, hey, like the Bills offense, we don't talk about it enough. The Bills defense has trouble communicating at home.
He just realized it's loud at Highmark Stadium.
Have you guys brought it up on the channel?
Yes.
No, you haven't.
Watch every previous episode.
Yeah.
And you go ahead and look at it. No, it is a good point for the defense, and especially for those.
You did not create that take.
Man.
Do you see what we put up with? Where's the fat head?
He's right there. What are you talking about?
There is. I think there is something to it. And Taron Johnson said he didn't want the crowd to be any quieter, obviously making it difficult on the opposing offense. But especially, I think they've still been trying to figure it out in this post-Hyde Poyer era.
Yeah.
Figuring out all that goes into it. There have been numerous safeties that have come into Buffalo, and you're going, well, this guy's going to play, and this guy's going to do it. It's such a complex Sean McDermott, Bobby Babich defense that is pretty much engineered back to front. So the safeties have to make all of the checks and calls. Even veterans that have been around the league for other teams have struggled to do it in Buffalo. And when you have, and I was talking to Terrence as we're walking back to the locker room on Wednesday, and I go,
What a flex.
I know. Taryn and I were hanging out talking.
just chopping it up, being an all-pro corner, and I go, but it's different for an opposing, when you're an offense in a road game, everybody's looking at the quarterback. The offensive lineman can turn around and see the hand signals and gestures because there's a central location that the quarterback is looking at. When you have 4 down linemen, they can't turn around. Yeah. Terrell Bernard, I go, TB can't turn around. He goes, he has, and they've snapped the ball, and things have gone bad. So, like, he said that if there's 10 guys that understand the check or hear the check, and one guy doesn't, he goes, that's a broken coverage. And he goes, we've had a lot of those this year. So hopefully those kind of things get ironed out as the season goes along. But he did say, like, we've played really well on the road because they were able to communicate.
And they played the Jets. But if you want to see a play where that all goes that way, nobody wants to look back at that Ravens game and see the bad plays. But the Derrick Henry touchdown when he, as Dan says, bounced Cole Bishop.
Dribbled him like a basketball.
Yeah. You see Terrell Bernard looking to the side. He's looking to make a change right as they snap the ball. They're in the wrong spot. He gets blocked. Matt Milano totally overruns the play. And then poor Cole Bishop, I have to say, is sitting there going and seeing Derrick Henry in a wide open hole. And he ends up in the end zone. But that was in part because I think the defense was a little bit in flux. They were trying to change something. Didn't get it done. Ball was snapped, and they were in trouble at that spot.
I still can't believe they won that Ravens game. I was talking about it with some people tonight. I'm like, I still cannot believe that they were able to pull off that game. But it's because Josh Allen is Josh Allen. But also, the Bills' defense made a play when they needed to.
Yeah. It's what they do.
It's incredible when you think about it, though.
Yeah, they wait for those moments. Jenna mentioned it earlier today. They could do it a little earlier and give you guys a little more peace.
That'd be nice.
But they wait till late, and, you saw them do that. And honestly, sometimes we think the law of averages will catch up to a team in terms of, like, the stats about turnovers and all, but it is harped into this defense, especially a defense that can give up some yards and give up some plays to go for the turnovers, and they've made those plays, and they don't turn it over on offense. And it is a mindset for this team.
But this has also been a defense that, as long as Sean McDermott has been there, and this is more of the X's and O's that we talk about occasionally on the channel, but, like, Sean McDermott plays a zone defense. He was one of the first guys to be like, nobody's getting the ball over the top of us. We're going to make offenses go 12, 13 plays down the field, and then they're going to bear down, bend but don't break in the red zone and force field goals or force turnovers. So, like, that is how this defense, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. They're not going to be man coverage, locking guys down. But there is something to it where I think for a long time you're like, well, turnovers they come in bunches, and it's almost like football luck that you force turnovers. They have proven it time and time again that it's not luck. It's something that's ingrained in this defense to make plays on the ball, especially when it matters most. I'd argue important times could be the first quarter getting a stop, or the second quarter would be helpful instead of waiting to the fourth quarter, but they've done it.
Well, we saw what happened in the game against the Dolphins. Terrell Bernard told us right afterwards that Coach Al Holcomb had come to him.
I was about to say, you're going to regret saying this because it sets up Dan having the tweet that he said.
Because I called it.
Go ahead.
We talked about it on the pod. I called it at the start of the drive. I said, here comes the 2 interceptions.
See, let me explain something to you guys. So
Well, sit down
both
with Mike.
of them. I will say this.
We got the
Even Dan,
campfire here,
they're
too.
sitting next to me at the game, and I know I talk a lot. I'm seeing
He
my wife
talks
back there.
so
She
much.
knows. I know I talk a lot, but sometimes they're not listening to me. And what I'm saying is very valuable. And I am saying this is the time when the Bills defense usually comes up with a turnover, and I tweet it. Dan, being Dan, says, I called it. I'm like, were you not listening to me?
But Jenna has the same perspective. When you sit next to Mike in the press box, by the fourth quarter, you kind of are worn down. So
You're like the Bills defense. You're
They
like,
can't take
I
in
just gotta
all
lock
that.
in.
right, but Jenna,
Valuable
How many
information.
times I'm like, he'll be on his computer and he'll just think, I just tweeted, and then you're like, yeah, I know, I saw it because we were next to
Well,
each other.
obviously, you
So
didn't see the one
eventually
I said the turnover was coming.
I just,
But fine. You take credit for it. You
Yeah, I
go
did.
right ahead.
but yeah, they forced a turnover.
Yes.
I want everyone to know this is 100% real, and this is 100% what happens in the sports office.
Yes.
We're not in front of
Or the
cameras.
car driving
The
to the
drive.
games.
Yeah.
Oh my
there's
gosh,
all
the
of that
drives to
stuff.
Buffalo.
All
We
right.
love each other, but
Yeah.
there's a limit.
We have to talk about the Bills' third down defense because I feel like a lot of fans have been watching games and they are just yelling at the TV because it's like first down, okay, second down, third and long. The Bills have struggled.
So we were talking about the Baltimore game. Baltimore was 6 of 11. It's not great, but it was whatever. The problem in that game was they didn't get to third down that often. They were running in the end zone. They gave up 40 points. And then they had the Dolphins game where the Dolphins were 10 of 15. And I give Sean credit. They're saying, well, we got him to third down 15 times. That's great. That might be a time
I
for
was
your
about to
line.
say,
It's fine. We'll save it.
Oh,
You guys know the
Was it a
line.
Lincoln reference?
Yeah.
How was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Yes. Dan has misused that phrase
No, I
so
nailed it last
many
game.
times.
I nailed it last
And
game.
we're at Lincoln Hill
I know.
Farms.
That's very
was
this
all
is your
set up for you.
opportunity.
Yeah.
So
I zoned out.
They were 10 of 15 converting third downs. Because you're watching that Miami game and you're like, can we get a stop? I joked that they play the train horn at the games. I said they should have played a siren on third down because it was an emergency. The reason the stats don't look as bad as they really are is because the Jets were 0 for 11 on third down.
Which is
the Jets
incredible.
Take that, throw that game out in that way. They were bad. Bills were good, but they were bad. The third down defense is not good enough. They know it's not good enough. And it is going to cost them in games. They survived in 2. It's going to cost them.
As Sean McDermott likes to say, the rush and the coverage, it's a marriage, and they have to blend together. It's a marriage. Like, if you can get after the quarterback, your boy
Yeah.
Greg
could
Rousseau.
help the third down defense. We'll get to him a little bit
Yeah, I
later.
was
But
saying,
Okay.
we'll get to that in a bit. All right, what do you make of the plan then for cornerback 2? Because Trey White is out there now. Max Hairston, if you had not seen, was practicing out with trainers on the field on Wednesday when we were in the building in Orchard Park. But he had on a significant knee brace.
Yeah.
Now, he's eligible to come back from IR starting soon. The Bills have 21 days. What was that?
He's pointing to Orchard Park.
Over there!
I know.
It's over there.
By the way,
No idea which way
they
it
give
is.
me a hard time about pointing to stuff. I found a video of me in Pittsburgh, a Bills playoff game in the 90s. And it was a stand-up of me for the news, and I pointed. I was like, the play happened right there. And I was like, oh, my God, I've been doing this for 35 years.
It's okay. You're a
And
Hall
now
of
they
Famer.
point. They point. You guys
Yeah.
point all the
over
time.
there.
Over there is the play.
It's so good. I don't remember what I was saying.
Max Hairston.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
Max
Plan
Hairston.
for cornerback
Yeah,
2. I got
sorry.
you. I got you.
It was a long walk. All
Yes.
right, where do we think, though? Because I think people are concerned.
So Dan mentioned earlier, I don't think they're going to jump out and be playing all this man defense. That was the plan coming into the year, to be able to play more man. That's why they drafted Max. I think he can play more man defense for them. Then he got into camp, and quite honestly, he
Up and
looked
down.
a little lost
Yeah.
in the spring, until you're watching and you're like, that's when Trey White looks good, and you're like, okay, it's going to be Trey. Trey's not really a man corner. That's not what he's done. And I think they would like to play that way. I think they're going to need to play that way. With this team, it's not about winning a bunch of regular season games. You know what it's going to matter. It's
Yeah.
going to really matter when they're playing the Chiefs or the Chargers or the Broncos or whoever in the playoffs or the Ravens. when you got to switch things up a little bit on defense.
That's the key. It's not, are they going to become some team that plays 50% zone, 50% man? And like Max Harrison, for as fast as he is, played like 75% zone coverage at Kentucky. Like when people looked at his speed, they thought now he can man up Tyreek Hill and Xavier Worthy. It's like that's still not necessarily his game. But it's nice to be able to have that opportunity so that you're not so predictable. The Bills are going to play zone coverage 75% of the time. That's what Sean McDermott, Bobby Babich, it wants. But it is nice to be a little bit less predictable like they've been over the last few years, whether that's because DeMar Hamlin's been at safety, because Cole Bishop hasn't been very good, or vice versa. They've been so limited. To be able to spin the Rolodex, as Bill Belichick called about, Sean McDermott's defense, to keep them guessing. They've been so predictable, especially in those playoff games, which is when the defense has gotten torched the most.
Yeah, and Max Harrison has that speed element. And what do we always talk about? Sometimes that can make up for maybe not being in the right place originally because you have that X factor.
But Jenna, we were all at practice the other day. You see Max with that brace.
That brace was
substantial.
Yeah.
And he's moving okay, but you guys know there's a difference between moving in these little drills they're doing with the trainers and going out there cutting and being confident to play. And then there's the point about picking up the defense. And, we were talking about Taron Johnson said about young players make mistakes on the field. He hasn't even had a chance to make the mistakes yet. So the idea is we don't know. I mean, honestly, he can come off the injured list at the end of this week. I don't think that's going to happen. But at a certain point, I think if the trainers have him at a certain point, they'll try to get him on the field. But it's hard to really predict now how much he's going to contribute to the team this year because he is behind both physically and I think with the reps too.
But I think part of it too is we always make the golf and the baseball analogies. It's like having the pitcher that can throw 104. He doesn't have to have pinpoint location. Just throw 104 and good things can happen. So I think just having him as an option better than Codrington maybe in a spot where you have to play some guys, it does give you more depth, especially when he comes back.
Yeah. And the trait, just the speed. I mean, the Bills' defense has been lacking that.
Yeah, can't teach it.
All right, you talk about the playoffs. Now, it's early in the season, but that 1 seed, we should talk about that because the Ravens against the Chiefs, I know a lot of people will be watching that game coming up, and the team at the end of the weekend, one of those teams will be 1-3, which just seems unimaginable.
Yeah.
It's also
actually,
amazing.
Actually,
Well, actually,
they could be 1-2-1.
Yeah.
I am
It
going
could be a tie.
I am going to actually you there.
So we were talking about what's better for the Bills. And then the question is, who would you root for? And I'm thinking, Bills fans are not rooting for either one of those teams. Yeah. You're just going to see the game end and take the benefit of whatever happens.
I hope both teams lose.
Right. But in a certain case, I think you might look at it and say, I think Baltimore's going to win that division. I mean, I don't see Pittsburgh beating them out. I guess it could happen. Cincinnati is banged up, with Joe Burrow out, and Cleveland's not there. Kansas City loses this game. They're on a wild card track, especially if the Chargers win. But then the concern you have is you get in the playoffs, say the Bills are the 2 seed, and the first round they got Mahomes coming into Orchard Park.
I was saying this earlier. I want them to slay the dragon. I want it.
No.
I want that.
Nope.
What do you mean?
Let me tell you something. I'd take them beating the Jags and the Texans to get to the Super Bowl.
I get that too.
At some point, style
points
points would matter. Yes.
I want to end the narrative.
Well, that would end it.
Do you know what would be great to end the narrative? If they don't even make the playoffs.
I mean, that's also true. But I just don't see a world where the Chiefs
the other
don't
thing
make
about
the
the
playoffs.
Chiefs
I was literally still talking. That was like such a.
I just wanted to give everybody a vivid example of when you complain that I interrupt you.
You were all witness, though. That was crazy.
Did anybody see that? I didn't. Did you guys?
No, they heard it, though.
Okay. Continue, Jenna.
No, go ahead. It's good.
Well, actually.
The other thing about the Chiefs is
they're going to get
they
better.
cannot go to the Super Bowl because you know what that would mean.
Yeah.
4 straight times.
Yeah.
Like,
They can't.
I know the Bills lost all 4, but that is an incredible accomplishment for the franchise. And of all things, you don't want to see the Kansas City Chiefs be the ones that get 4 in a row.
I do think they're exhausted.
Yeah, they
I
look.
do like you
and
see the what's the word on the sidelines?
You got it.
It starts with the.
Let her cook.
This is a lot of people.
What were you going with here?
No, like the
Demise?
not
Fatigue?
demise, but like when people are arguing with each other, it starts with a D. Like the.
Ask
all-
the audience.
I
Come on.
say, can I phone a
Phone
friend?
a friend.
I don't know. Let's. Yes.
Dissension.
Thank you.
Yeah,
There we
well
go.
done,
Thank you.
audience.
Yes.
Well done.
And over here, I heard it too.
Dan,
Now-
spell dissension. No, just let it go. Just take a pass.
Use it in a sentence. Dissension.
I couldn't, so it's fine.
D-E-S-C-E-N.
What?
What?
C. Good try.
Descend. Like, let's move on.
You're spelling like descending.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's allude and allude.
Right.
There's that. We're back to
got
that. Okay.
There does appear to be that. You saw it again with Kelsey and Andy Reid. And
Yeah.
they're not used to losing. They're certainly they've already lost more games than they did last year, right? Or they did lose 2 last
lost
year,
2.
but they didn't play anybody in the last game because I think they were 15-1. So they're feeling that a little bit, I think. And that division is better. Denver's a good team.
They're
and
not-
certainly the Chargers are 3-0.
They're not that good anymore.
Right.
Like, their offensive line is not as good. They tried to kind of revamp it this offseason. It's still a rookie at left tackle. They have nobody that can get downfield, where Mahomes has always been this guy that can stretch the field with speed. They currently don't have that. They're getting Xavier Worthy back. Obviously, they're going to get Rashid Rice back at some point this season, but it just doesn't feel the same. And I don't want to be that guy that was always like, the Patriots dynasty's dead in week 4, but it just doesn't look the same. There's plenty of time for them to figure it out, but it just doesn't feel the same.
You know, if you're ever having a bad day, though, you can just watch the last season's Super Bowl.
There's an Eagles fan here,
It's
too.
just-
Yeah.
I was
Go
saying,
Birds!
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
Birds!
But just watching Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, I know.
Leveled essentially on every play.
I know.
That was incredible. All
Yeah.
right. We've gone way too long.
Well, I wanted to add, you mentioned the 1 seed, and, you know, when they changed that rule where it was the top 2 seeds getting the bye, it was different. Man, that is a massive advantage.
Now it's huge.
To get the 1 seed, to get that week off, to move in, and then to know you're going to be home for 2 different games, and you catch a team. I mean, even it was the next round, but, like, you know, the Bills had to play that's just the way it worked out. They had to play the Ravens, which is a very different team to prepare for than the Chiefs, and then come right back a week
it's
later and
challenging.
play the Chiefs. So it's an advantage to be home. It's an advantage to maybe avoid that, where maybe the 2 other good teams have to play each other. And to get that bye in the first round, I think, would be huge for them.
It is wild to see how the AFC is kind of shaping up now that we're a couple games into the season, because you talk about, oh, it's the Bengals, and oh, it's this, it's that. And now it's the Chargers. And it's just kind of looking a little bit different than I think we expected heading in.
Yeah, I mean, Catalana has the Colts as the number 1 team in the
Yeah.
NFL.
Oh, how could we forget?
So I had a little fun with the kids this week. We do our league podcast. But the Colts have looked good, right? And Houston, credit to me,
like, they
Has a problem.
has not looked good. They're 0-3. Now, those teams can make I mean, it's 3 games into the season. I realize that. I give the Colts credit. By the way, if you want to be a good quarterback, go to New York and then leave, and you're automatically better. Like Daniel Jones looks like a quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? Sam Darnold has looked
Darnold.
like a quarterback.
Yeah.
Wait till Zach Wilson takes over the Dolphins and
wait
then you
till
have a
Jackson
quarterback.
Dart is.
No, he's going to have to. Right, he's going to have to leave.
No, I'm
he's gonna-
saying wait till.
Oh,
he
wait
gets-
till he leaves,
Wait till
yeah.
it flames
Wait,
out.
the craziest stat, we talked about it before when we recorded our TV show for Sunday. The last time, it's been so long since the Bills lost at home that Russell Wilson has been benched by 3 different
Teams since then. Yes, they lost to the Broncos with Russell Wilson.
who eventually got benched.
Well, it's because they all get sick of him, and then he goes to Pittsburgh,
And he got benched.
Got benched,
And he's
they-
benched again.
And by the way, I did say the under/over on Jackson Dart was 3.5, and I took the under at the beginning of the year. That was on one of those podcasts I did by myself, where I got to do all the talking. And
God.
Let him
he's
cook.
out. And so they're going with, and that makes sense. But
Yeah.
it wasn't that long ago. We're talking about 2023. I mean, Russ just goes through your town, gets paid, gets benched, and goes to the next town. That's what he does.
Let's
So,
ride.
Let's ride. 13 in a row, the Bills have won regular season games at home.
Yeah. It's an impressive
yeah,
streak.
it has
really
been really
is.
good.
All right, we've gone way too long without talking about Josh Allen, the NFL
Who's that?
MVP. That guy,
Right, that
number
guy.
17.
Yeah.
Did you see the cantaloupes were in Wegmans?
Yes,
the
they're-
Allen
yeah.
family farm.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It tastes good. All right.
I believe it. All right. Josh Allen in this offense. We've talked a lot about Josh just being the dynamic athlete and playmaker that he is. But I feel like these last couple of weeks we've seen kind of a more subdued passing attack in terms of like less huge plays, but those shorter dink and dunk kind of throws that the Bills can work their way down the field.
Well, I think it goes back to even last year, too. They were much more of a methodical offense that they have turned into. This isn't, deep passes to, at the time, Gabe Davis or
right.
Stephon Diggs. It just hasn't been the same since really Joe Brady has kind of built this best rushing attack, second best rushing attack in the NFL behind the Eagles. Like just the way that they built the offense around the offensive line. And Josh has been able to just be good when he doesn't need to be great. Like he's been able to have, like we talked about even in the Jets game, no touchdowns, offense looks great, they scored 30 points, you move on. But this is something that, he was kind of joking around and was asked about it. He goes, I didn't even know that people were mad that we're not throwing the ball downfield. My PR guy just told me people are mad. Like, I don't care. I just am here to win. But it is the way that defenses are playing the Bills, they've adjusted, and they have created new mismatches, and he's got a new target that nobody expected in Jackson Hawes.
Yeah, the tight end, and they're playing that 3 tight end offense all the time. And this has been the offense that Sean McDermott has wanted them to play for a few years.
This is his
He likes the
dream.
physical team.
This.
Don't turn the ball over. And, look, it's working. I mean, they're scoring 30 points a game.
Do you remember, and this is a deep cut for Buffalo Plus fans,
Right.
when Dan didn't think the run game was important?
No.
Oh,
No.
wait a
Do
minute.
you remember?
Wait a minute.
You all remember that, right?
No. I said
He's
it
gonna
was
This is,
squirm
watch
his
the
way out of
mental
this tape.
gymnastics he's going to
Yeah.
do here.
Yep.
Go ahead.
when they couldn't run the ball and they ran the ball for the sake of running it. It was a waste
so you
of
only
a down.
like it when it
was
works.
a waste of a down. When they couldn't run the ball and they're like second down and 10, here's another handoff, I was livid because you were taking the ball to your best playmaker on offense.
That was your big take?
Yep, that was, I heard it over here, yeah.
Okay, but the point...
I never said I liked it when they run the ball effectively. That was what I always
What a
said.
crazy
really?
take. I only like it when it works. like that's what you're
And
saying.
it wasn't working.
Jenna and I were on board with they need to run it and run it better.
You need to have multiple ways to win
Yes.
in the NFL.
We were right.
Yes. Thank
Dan
you.
was wrong.
We need to get the fat heads up behind us. Put them down. When
But I
someone
think
has a bad
Sean
take.
McDermott has wanted to play this way, and I think he saw the league going this way a little bit. Obviously, the run game has become much more important. You mentioned the Eagles. You got the Ravens. You know, you have the Bills. Even the Colts can run the football, and the teams that can't, it's tough. And quite honestly, I think it's impacting the Chiefs because they do not run the ball
They
well.
have a good offensive line.
But it's not just the run game. It's the run game and the short passes. I mean, honestly, Josh played up the same depth of target as Tua last week. I mean, they were short passes they did against Miami. Get the ball out of your hands and go. And it is effective. But, you know, I do think there are times when you could make life a little easier on yourself if you had that threat. They don't really have that guy on the team, but they do maximize the guys they have on the roster.
We're joking around that this is like the offense that Sean McDermott would love to have, and I can imagine like Sean talking to Brian Dable at the time, and he was like, dude, if you just put 3 tight ends out there, I swear we'll be able to run the ball. And Dable's like, yeah, dude, whatever. We're going to throw the ball 50 times because that's what they needed to do at the time. The best thing that Brandon Beane has done outside of drafting Josh Allen was the way that he has built this offensive line.
No doubt.
They are the best offensive line in football.
Right
and
now, no doubt.
That is a massive key to success in any weather, any time of the year, in any game. That's huge for not only Josh, but the way you build the offense has been massive.
Yeah.
And it's not exactly the sizzle that you want in terms of like
You
that
love this reference.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it's not exactly the
Finish it.
sizzle that you want, but it's the steak that you need because this is what supports
it's-
the framework of this entire offense.
It's another line they stole from me.
It's also obviously about food.
Just a food reference.
That
like-
is true. But, you know, it is effective. And we just sort of accept the fact that this is what Josh Allen does. Not every quarterback is going to do that. No. His adaptation to different things in the game itself, going from being an inaccurate guy in college to one of the most accurate passers, going from a guy who had no patience and turned the ball over at a high rate to now being the guy that rarely, if ever, turns it over, to being a guy who accepts this. I said to the guy, I just think he's in his place now in his career where he really doesn't care about the stats. He really doesn't. He's already put up stats. Everybody knows he's great.
He's got the MVP.
And when they need him, he can go for 251 in a quarter. Yeah. Look at the games last year when they played Detroit and they played the Rams. And he had over 1,000 yards in total offense in 2 games.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible what he did. So he can do it, but he accepts this and just executes exactly what they want.
So I asked Josh this week about, he always talks.
Another flex.
Yeah.
I knew I said that.
Josh.
Was like,
the fat head's getting bigger.
I was like, here you go. Well, you also talked to Josh. You can mention that later.
Yeah, but
how else am I supposed to phrase that? How would you phrase that?
We talked to Josh?
Yes.
But I asked the question.
Oh, okay.
To say.
Josh.
I talked to
Dan
Josh.
here.
Yeah.
That wasn't nice.
Go
that
ahead.
was a little too far.
Okay.
Dad, come on.
All right, tell what you asked Josh.
Josh always talks about the fact that he hasn't turned the ball over and the offense and the state of it. And he's like, well, I just know that I have to take care of the football. And I kind of asked him and pushed back, like, the thought of a quarterback taking care of the football is not some nuanced theory that just came up. Like, hey, by the way, the quarterback shouldn't turn the ball over. But something has happened where Josh used to be this elite talent, but you'd always follow it up with, but he turns the ball over. Josh is incredible. The Bills are great, but Josh is turnover prone. Josh hits all the buttons and goes crazy in big moments. And he said that the everybody eats philosophy has helped him. Joe Brady bringing that in. And he goes, I don't feel like I have to put the ball somewhere. Like I don't have to force the ball to the quote was something that you don't have to put it where it has to go.
Yeah, he's talking about Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting because and so like this is where I'm stuck between a take and what I think is right.
Oh, here we go. Again,
some
watch
might
him.
say a rock and a hard place.
Watch him cook. Here we go. Let's go.
Take and a hard
By the
place.
way, no matter what he says, he's going to take credit however it ends up.
Pat
So go
himself
ahead.
On the back.
Well, because when Brady Bean goes on the radio and says we don't need a wide receiver, and you guys are making this whole thing up, and we've scored all these points, I still think you would love to have a number one wide receiver. I still think you'd rather have Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, so a guy that you knew you could go to. I do see the other side of the coin where you feel then if you have that marquee elite wide receiver, you have to force the ball that way. And it doesn't allow the offense to flow. And that when you don't have that Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs at the time, Josh said it, he goes, I feel free. And that offensive coordinators then feel free because then you don't need to feel like, okay, I got to get this guy involved in the offense early. Yeah. It's been Dalton Kincaid early on in these games, but then it's been Shakir late in the fourth quarter against Miami.
So I agree with Dan. I know, right? Look at me. I agree with Dan. But I'll push back in this case. It's nice to have that dude when you need him in the big moments.
Yeah.
And look, in the Kansas City game last year in the playoffs, the two guys who made plays for Josh, because he makes this punt. Mac Hollins
and James Cook.
was great, and James Cook. That James Cook touchdown was
incredible.
Only Josh Allen on that roster can make that play, and he did. And Mac Hollins got himself down the field. They got that score before the half, which was huge. And Mac made a play, and that's great. It's not even as much as total targets. It's a guy who can make that play for you in a big moment. And if you go back and watch those games, and I've done it, it's kind of hard to watch that Chiefs game because you know where it ends up. But even the offense scored points, but, man, it was tough. There was a lot of fourth downs. It was a lot of Josh running through somebody to get it. And in those moments, sometimes you need the guy that will make the play for you. And I still am not sure if they have that guy for them. But, and maybe maybe Keon steps up at times, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I like that slant they run to Keon. And when everybody's looking at numbers, it's like that was a one catch for 4 yards. But, man, when it's 3rd and 3, that is a massive 4 yards. So I do think there's individual guys, doesn't have to be one, but guys need to step up for their quarterback because they know how he's going to play in those games.
I think we've seen Khalil Shakir do that in the past. But you mentioned Keon. What have you seen from him now in year 2? Because he had a lot of expectations on him when he was drafted this offseason, getting kind of called out by the Bills brass, being like, hey, like, you need to be better. Where do you think he is at? I mean, we're only a month in, but I do think you see those bits of improvement. It's just building off of that, and what can he add?
It's hard to kind of balance and put into perspective really big numbers and really big stats against Baltimore and then kind of non-existent. I agree that third down conversion, we talked about it on the podcast, that I said I liked the play call and I liked Josh having the faith to throw that slant because it's a run play. It's a designed run play. The offensive line, everybody's blocking. It's just Josh has the option to throw a quick slant to Keon. I love that he caught it because I love the fact that you can go back to it.
Is that good for a receiver?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was the fact of it wasn't that long ago that it drilled him in the back of the head. So
was that Houston?
Houston.
Yeah, it was bad.
Now, again, he makes that play in the Baltimore game off the deflected pass. That's just a guy being there and making a massive play. Mm-hmm. I like him off scramble drills when the play gets a little bit off script. I think he's one of the smarter wide receivers that Josh has had in a long time to get open and find space for Josh when he extends plays. I still just don't know if he's a consistent guy to go 5 for 70.
Yeah.
Because I just haven't seen enough of it.
I think that's fair. I think it's surprising to me sometimes how intuitively he will be in the right space, but sometimes I think it's kind of like, oh, I ended up here,
right.
as opposed
it's like
to the
better,
crisp route
It's like
running.
he's better when the play's drawn up in the sand, more than like the play of like, hey, 15 yards and cut and make sure you get separation and leverage.
Yeah.
He's more of, hey, you run around for a while, I'll find a place to be open.
And I'll go back to that Kansas City game, and they got the ball in that last drive. Like, their play calls and what they were doing. Well, because so if anybody's a Yankees fan here, right, a lot of times you watch them during the year, and, they hit a ton of home runs, and even like Aaron Judge, right, great numbers, all this kind of stuff. But you know what it matters. It matters in those big moments in the biggest games. And I see that offense against Kansas City when they were trying to get those first downs to get down and maybe kick a field goal, or score a touchdown. And they're throwing to like Amari Cooper on basically a screen. And they didn't have the confidence in that drive to get somebody open down the field. And then let's be honest, Kincaid dropped that one. I saw another replay of it. He's got to catch that ball. He needed a guy to step up for him.
Being a buzzkill.
I know.
Yeah, but no, my point is, in this case, that's where it matters for this team. They're going to win a ton of games. They're going to be home for the playoffs. They're going to be in those spots. Somebody in those moments to step up for Josh Allen is what's going to make the difference. So, like I said, maybe it is Keon. We saw Cook do that. I think Cook can make those plays for them. And then we wait to see on some of these other guys. Shakir's a great player, very good. Maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it is Dalton Kincaid this year that makes the play. But
he's coming off a great game.
Yeah, I know it's a long season, but it all matters when it's really cold outside and it's the playoff games.
Well, this brings up, at least for this week, the Picasso Player of the Week. Who's a guy that's going to step up on Sunday against the Saints?
Shout out Picasso's.
Shout out Picasso's. A little
Slice
pizza. A little
of
Bud
za.
Light.
Little Bud Light and pizza.
I mean,
Picasso's
honestly,
pizza.
yeah, that sounds pretty good for
That's
Sunday.
a good marriage.
All right, who is your Picasso Player of the Week?
So Jen and I were having a phone call while we were driving out here, and she's like, who do you think your Picasso's Player of the Week is going to be? And I said, it's Joey Bosa to have the impact in this game. She goes, I was going to have Joey Bosa. And I said, perfect, we'll tag team up and abuse Mike. Because your boy has been MIA. And I fear, Jenna had this point, we fear this could be a Greg Rousseau game. Like he could get 3 sacks against a bad offensive line by New Orleans, and that Mike will get to be like, and I was right.
Yeah.
But they need Joey Bosa to be a consistent factor.
I think Joey Bosa will have a big game, and I think because of that also, Greg Rousseau will have a good game.
So all of a sudden, I was the buzzkill. I'm
also,
the negative.
I love sitting in the middle because it's fun to gang up on you and then gang up on you.
I like Greg Rousseau as a player. I think there's more there. I want to see more out of him. See? Greg, the fan club.
He just got paid.
Greg Rousseau.
Sorry.
And I talked to him.
We had a great talk before, but it's just wrong. Like, the take is just wrong.
So
very sweet. It was so, thank you so much. Don't be on Mike's side on Greg Rousseau.
By the way.
You had to move, actually.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
You interrupted me.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding.
I know.
By the way, I talked to Greg Rousseau at practice the other day. And I said to him about getting to the quarterback. He knows. He said, I got to be better at. We got to get there. They do play, and this is what happens right now in the league. Like both mobile guys and guys who want to get the ball out of their hands. Actually, I even think the Saints are going to try to get the ball out of their hands. They want to avoid that. That being said, it doesn't even have to be a sack. He's got to be better. They've all got to be better. Bosa was really good. I think really been good in 2 games.
Yeah.
No doubt. They were all ineffective against Miami. Tua did that where he got the ball out of his hands and he made some plays. The bigger thing was when he got out of the pocket a little bit. Both of them did not do a good job. They've got to be better in those circumstances when they play those guys. I do realize, I'm like, hey, Greg, you only got 1/2 a sack. Like I said double digits. So I said to him, I need a little more. He goes, don't worry, Mike, I'll take care of you. And then you can say you were right. But the numbers need to come. He needs to be better. There's no doubt he needs to be better. But it's early.
Is he your Picasso?
He's my player of the week, the Picasso player of the week.
Okay.
Greg Rousseau.
That was such a weak cheer as compared to Bosa.
Yeah, Bosa got all the claps.
Yeah.
All right, we should probably talk about the Saints.
Sure.
Sunday, a winless team coming into Orchard Park. Now, you said about the Dolphins there was a 0% chance that the Bills were going to lose to Miami.
I did.
But now you're a little worried.
I'm more nervous this week than I was against Miami. And it's a very strange feeling why, again, I thought that the Bills have dominated the Dolphins.
I'm letting you cook. Go ahead.
That was like a polite interruption. I said that the Dolphins had 0 chance of winning that game when you guys were listing off the names and all of that stuff. The Saints don't have any of that. The Bills have dominated the Dolphins. That was a big reason why I thought they had no chance. But I also think that the Dolphins thought and think they're a good team, and they're not. I think the Saints know they're a bad team. And the Saints know that they're 16.5-point underdogs. And they just got blown out by 30 points. And they're trying to build something with a new head coach. And, like, those are guys that aren't fighting for playoffs. Like, they want to keep their spot in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, when grown men in the NFL get embarrassed, they don't like it. And usually there's a response coming back. That's the only reason why I'm a little bit nervous that this is a dangerous Saints team. And the Bills had 10 days of going, the Saints stink, we're 3-0, we're at home, and there's no chance. I think there's a 1% chance that the Saints win this game.
Well, I think about 7 years ago when Josh Allen, now look, it's a different situation, but when Josh Allen was a young quarterback, Sean McDermott was a younger head coach, they were going to Minnesota, they were double-digit underdogs.
16.5 points.
Exactly. Yeah. And Josh Allen was hurdling linebackers.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the welcome, this is Josh Allen moment.
And the Bills ended up handling him. I think it was like 24-7 or 24-9, something like that. They won the game. I think it's the right point about what this Saints team is. They were embarrassed. First 2 games they played well enough. They were in the game.
Yeah.
It's tight. They went up to Seattle. They got smacked right away. They were down. They gave up like 31 points in the first half. I mean, It was terrible for them. And it was bad. They are embarrassed. So I do think you're going to see a purpose from that team. I do think the 10 days for the Bills to get ready for the game is impactful. I think their last win is behind them a little bit. And I don't think players underestimate individual players. That's the point I try to make. Like, Taron Johnson's looking at the tape, and he sees Chris Olave and
Shaheed Raheed.
No.
Shaheed?
Shaheed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that his last name or his first name?
It's his last name.
It's his last name. Rashid Shaheed.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
You were close.
Spell it. I'm kidding.
But they see, they have talented players that they're going up against. So they don't sit there and go, this guy's, this is not a college game when you're playing on the homecoming weekend. It's an NFL team. And to Dan's point, too, is that they were embarrassed in that game. I think they come back with some fight in this one. And I think the Bills realize that.
Yeah.
They have seen this before. They've avoided this in many cases at home when they're substantial favorites. This is 16.5 points. But I think the Saints will play better than they did last week. But it's still a big mountain to climb to beat the Bills.
I talked to Taron Johnson at practice. Am I doing this right?
Sick.
Okay.
Nailed it.
But I did ask him the challenge of going up against a team that doesn't have the record in terms of that success.
Yeah.
And he talked about how they are desperate. They are hungry for a win. But there's the leaders on this team that make sure that the mindset for the younger players already because, it's easy to think, hey, what do we always say? In the NFL, you're either humble or about to be humbled. And that is real in this league. You saw the Packers lose to the Browns last week. Like, it is real. So for this Bills team, I think that there is that maturity. And that's what I look at when I see this team. This team has the composure and the leadership and all that stuff to take this game seriously. And I think some other teams that don't have that same strength in their locker room might look at it differently.
You talk about how they've avoided these letdown spots. And I think somebody was asking us actually at the meet and greet, like, do the Bills play down to their level of competition? And we kind of said, like, no, they've been really good recently, and Sean McDermott of not underestimating teams and things like that. They're going to come back and beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Like, that game a few years ago, we're convinced, like, that was the letdown spot. That was a game that the Bills had absolutely every chance to win that game and didn't. And the other game I think about when I thought about the Bills being 16.5-point favorites that worried me was that 2 years ago, Denver beat Miami. No, Miami beat Denver 70-20. Oh. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, this Denver team's 0-3. Sean Payton stinks. This Denver team's awful. Denver won the next week.
Yeah.
Because they're grown men that got embarrassed putting up 70 points, and it's all over the TV. Like, that's where I have a little bit of a fear that the Saints team could have some fight in them. I think they have to get off. The big key in this one is off to a fast start.
Set the tone.
The Saints have scored 0 first-quarter points. The Bills are number 1 in the NFL in first-quarter points with 35. Get this team, let the message be known quickly. You're not on the same level as us. We're prepared. We're ready. And don't let bad teams hang around and think they have a chance. Break their will early.
Wow.
I mean, I like the point.
Dan's ready to play.
Finish him.
Well, there's a couple reasons why that. First of all, the Saints have not.
Hold on. Break their will is a lot. Like, that's a lot. I'm sorry.
He's fired up.
He needs a Bud Light.
I know. Bud Light will take care of it.
You guys thought I was giving this speech about that the Dolphins stink. You're like, you're not giving them enough credit. I was like, I'm not giving the speech in the locker room to the team when I said the Dolphins had 0 chance.
Can you imagine that? Dan breaking down the huddle.
Yeah.
This team you're playing's got
They
no
stink.
chance to beat
These
you.
guys have nothing.
Go beat them.
But I could fire them up for this week.
Yeah.
Don't take this 16.5-point dog lightly.
The Saints have not taken a snap in a game yet with the lead. Okay, they just have been behind.
That is wild.
And they're
All
not
that
the kind
me.
of team.
All of that worries me.
Well, with 2 scores. So you guys know in the Miami game, Bills have a 7-point lead. They're driving before half. All of a sudden, bad play. Josh gets sacked. Shanked field goal. Miami gets it, takes up the rest of the half, and scores. So instead of the Bills using the clock, going up 2 scores and getting the ball to start the third quarter, which a 1 score there against that Miami team would have put them to sleep. But it didn't. It was tied going into the half, and it was close the rest of the way. So to Dan's point, burying a team that has struggled and is trying to find themselves. Well, they have broke their will. They have veterans on defense, real veterans. Like, I got to say this for me, old guys on that defense.
That's how you know.
But I think that would be the message to the team. Like, that was embarrassing what we put on the field.
Yeah.
And it's Kellen Moore's a new head coach. They're trying to establish something. And that's what can happen. Teams like this can look really, really bad and then show some fight another time. I think they'll show fight. I just don't think they have it to beat
All
the
right.
Bills.
Well, that leads us into our picks and predictions because let's do a quick recap. So 2-1 on the season, 2-1.
People live in the past.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Dan and I predicted exactly
you
what
guys.
was going to happen in the Ravens game.
Yeah.
We were right.
We were right.
We couldn't help it if the Ravens were dumb, and we picked it. So we are considering ourselves 3-0.
That's not how it works.
No?
No.
Okay.
So
Doesn't
just a
work that way.
reminder, my punishment for if I win would be these 2 reading mean tweets that I've curated while they eat progressively
lot of them.
hotter wings.
Yes. Mean comments, mean tweets. There are a few out there.
Yeah. But they got to be funny. They got to be good. There's some creative ones, but yeah. So
when I win, the punishment for Dan and Jenna is they have to sing in a bar on a karaoke night together the song of my choice.
And when I win, which I don't like my odds already, they have to catch 10 passes off a jugs machine so that I can get revenge
On the jugs machine?
What the jugs machine did to me last training camp.
Yeah.
So we'll go off that.
And Dan
when
just
you ran
walked
into
it.
a jugs machine that was completely
did.
still.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Still
making
hurt.
sure. Just recapping. All right, our picks and predictions for Sunday. Dan, I will start with you.
Yeah, I do have slight concerns about this game just because you can look at every stat and the Bills are way better, but there are games like the Browns beat the Packers that weird things happen. So I guess that's where my level of concern is. I want the Bills to jump out to an early lead. My favorite pick of the week is the Bills minus 3.5 in the first quarter for Uncle Dan's Best Bets, if that's something that
Okay.
you're into.
We like the plug.
I like that. But I think eventually the Bills do get the job done. I think it's a little bit closer. I don't think they cover. 31-20, Bills win.
Okay, I also have the Bills winning this game. I don't think that's a surprise for anyone. I have them winning 34-17. I think the Saints score a who cares touchdown late in this game. But I just look at these as two different teams that are in two different directions. You have one team that has top-tier talent in Josh Allen, the NFL MVP. You have an established team. You have an established coach. You have an established culture, and all of that matters. And I look at the Saints, and I just think they're really early on. They have a ton of old veterans like Mike talked about, and then some guys that are just trying to hang on to some roster spots in the NFL. So I just think it is a mismatch. Now, I don't think the Bills take the bait and fall for the trap game, but I do think there will be maybe a moment early on that the Bills can really break their will.
It's a good line.
I hate that, but
a good line.
just set the tone, and I think that is an important piece of this game, is just making sure
It's what Mike and I do to you.
all the time.
She's like,
You
I
should see
can't
me in the
Break
car-
Jenna's will.
in the car ride home from Orchard Park, just trying to get through it. But no, I do think that for this Bills team, they are the more mature group, and I expect to see that on the field on Sunday.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Saints and thinking, I never think about the Saints. Is there a team? And look, they've won a Super Bowl. Like, they've had their success. But for Bills fans, it's a NFC South. It's the Saints. I don't think you ever think about the Saints during the year unless
No.
you know a Saints fan. The Bills rarely play them. They've only played them 5 times in Orchard Park
Do you remember the last time they played at Orchard Park?
when they ran all over them.
For like 1 billion yards.
Yeah.
When was
It
that?
was the
2017.
It was like the 3-4 game losing streak.
It was the
before-
game
before they benched
when they benched Tyrod.
Tyrod.
Yeah.
and
And
played
then
Nate
Peterman
Peterman.
came in,
I do
and
remember.
Yeah.
then he-
They ran all over them.
Yes.
yeah, Mark Ingram, I believe, was the running back. that
They just
for
ran
1
all
billion
over them.
yards.
I think the last time the Bills beat the Saints in Orchard Park was 1983. But they've only played there
Mike
like
was
5
52
times.
years old at the game.
That broke his will.
Well, I was in college at the time.
Breaking will.
Yeah, the bomber knows. I was at Ithaca at the time. And we were having fun. Anyhow, you guys weren't because you weren't close to being
My
born.
parents
yet.
weren't even
not
married
even
yet.
Oh, wow. Oh, now they're just picking on me. Yeah, I think the Bills dominate this game. I think they win. I think they're coming out to play a solid game. I think they'll play the way they normally do. I think the defense does better on third downs in this one. I've got the Bills winning at 33-13.
Okay, we love it. We'll finish up with credit to me. We always love doing this segment. So,
Do I go first?
Oh,
You
yeah.
can- I was going to do, I don't know what I was actually going to do on this, but it was going to be, this is a credit to Bud Light because this jacket just
He
fits
loves his jacket.
I'm obsessed with this jacket.
okay, you got to set this up.
Right.
So Lake Beverage hooked us up with these
Shout out
jackets.
Jay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these Jay.
Jackets, he's
They've done a
around here
phenomenal
selling.
job, the fatheads, all that stuff, and they left these on our desk. And Dan looked at it, and it was truly love at first sight.
It was. And then what made it better was that Mike and Jenna tried them on, and they looked like art smocks.
Yeah.
Like they looked like wannabe doctors in a back alley.
Yeah.
Like in these white coats.
Yeah.
And she's like, and they were like, we're not going to wear this. We can't do it. Nothing against Lake Beverage. And then, but I'm sitting there, and I tried it on.
Dan's
and
like, oh, I look good.
I'm wearing it. I was like, I'm absolutely.
And then he
wearing
went
it.
home and showed his wife. She said, oh, Dan, you look good.
Shout out Renee. She gave me the go ahead.
He's been wearing it around the house for 2 days. What are we talking about?
But shout out, like, this is elite. Like, this is
yeah.
is my fit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a quarter zip guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be golf course attire, all of these Buffalo Plus events. So, shout out Bud Light and Lake Beverage for this sweet quarter zip.
Yeah, I call it Dan checking himself out in the mirror.
It was so funny because I was like, oh, I guess we're not going to wear these. Like, this stinks. I kind of like this. And I was like, screw it. I'm wearing this thing. And they're like, yeah, somebody will wear it. I was like, I like it.
No, you crack us up. The art smock and back alley doctor is wild.
It was so fitting, though.
It was. All right. My credit to me is credit to my in-laws because I see Jeff over there. Oh, and Zach, that's my husband, family, like they are.
You guys
Jeff
all
and
know
Julie.
Zach from the
I was
pod.
saying,
You've
yes.
heard us talk
Yeah.
about Zach.
A round of applause, if you don't mind, for Jeff and Julie, my in-laws. They come to everything. They did not know when Zach and I first started dating that they would have to schlep around all of Monroe County and all over the place. But they have done so much in supporting me, and they are fantastic people. So I just wanted to give them a shout-out because I know that there's a lot that is involved with this job. Zach has to, by being married to me, be at everything, but they don't, so I appreciate it.
My father-in-law's here as well, the Perot's
I was gonna
and
say,
my wife's
Chuck,
family. They
yeah.
come to everything, so shout out to Chuck Perot back there. My wife doesn't even want to come to these events. It's partly because somebody has to watch the 3 girls, but she wouldn't want to even if she did have babysitting care.
That's
but,
it.
It's my father-in-law shows up to everything.
Yeah.
We
Well,
love
I was my wife. I think
My
she's still
wife.
here. And my niece are here, and her boyfriend are here, so I think they're still here. But it's a lot. She runs her own business. For them to come here, I was much appreciated.
My
And listen,
wife.
I have to say, you guys are awesome. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
Credit to you guys for showing up tonight. Bills fans, Buffalo Plus fans. As Dan said in the beginning, like we appreciate it. Sometimes we look at the numbers on the pod and we're going, damn, that's a lot of people. And then we come to a live event. And I know it's taken a night from your own time to come to be with us tonight. We really appreciate it. So thank you to all of you for being out here
Please
tonight.
give yourselves a round of it. Like, honestly,
let's
it
go.
really
Bills
does
fans,
mean
Buffalo Plus
so
fans.
much to us. We
And-
truly have so much fun with this.
And it's crazy when we've seen the same people have
Yeah.
shown up.
I
Where it's like, I
know.
thought you went to one. Like, you were good. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't need to. And it's wild. Again,
Yeah.
we always think that there's going to be 3 people that are going to show up.
And don't worry,
Truly.
in a future podcast, Dan will take credit for you guys showing up tonight.
Yeah, I know. I do sound really pretentious being like, my fit is my credit to me. Credit to me. I look great. Like,
Credit to me. I asked Josh Allen a question.
I'm gonna,
That's okay.
I'm going to ask Josh Allen if I look great in this Bud Light quarter zip.
We'll have to update the answer. All right, we want to thank everyone so much for joining us here. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know how much it means to us. For Mike Catalana and Dan Fates, I'm Jenna Cottrell.
Shout out Lincoln Hill Farms.
Yes.
Shout out Bud Light.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this was an incredible event in terms of, like, just this place. Like, Lincoln Hill Farms, amazing. We can't thank Bud Light enough. Jay has been phenomenal. Lake Beverage. Like, this is so much fun. We have so much fun doing this. So to be here with everyone, it really does mean a lot. So thank you so, so much.
I need a Bud Light.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
get a
we're
Bud Light.
gonna
All
go
right,
have
thank you guys
ice
so
cold Bud
much.
Light.
We really appreciate it. Get home safe. Thank you.